Steve, let's talk about some of the outcomes. We're hopeful that ultimately we end up with a 30-day ceasefire. Before we get there, we're working towards things like a prisoner swap. We're working towards a maritime ceasefire in the Black Sea. That's important too. There was also a conversation yesterday about maybe an agreement to limit attacks on energy infrastructure. And we'd love to build on that, because earlier on this morning we heard from the Ukrainian leader who said that overnight Russia sent 150 drones and hit Ukrainian energy. I just wonder what was actually agreed and whether Russia crossed the line overnight.
Well, what was agreed between the two presidents was, and it was at President Trump's suggestion, that there be a cessation of attacks on energy infrastructure from both sides and civilian infrastructure for that matter. Also, working towards a Black Sea moratorium on hits on naval vessels and freighters carrying grain and things of that sort, and ultimately that would evolve into a full-on ceasefire, which is a bit more complicated because there's a 2,000-kilometer border, there's Kursk, and there's a lot of details that go into that. But with regard to your question on some of the reporting with regard to the Russian drones last night, I have it on good information from a telephone call I had before I went on this show that President Putin issued an order within 10 minutes of his call with the president directing Russian forces not to be attacking any Ukrainian energy infrastructure. And any attacks that happened last night would have happened before that order was given. In fact, the Russians tell me this morning that 7 of their drones were on their way when President Putin issued his order, and they were shot down by Russian forces. So I tend to believe that President Putin is operating in good faith. He said that he was going to be operating in good faith to the president yesterday, and I take him at his word.